Hello friends, in last few videos we discussed about the locational extent of India and Brazil, then the physiographical division of these two countries as well. And this location and extent of these two countries as well as the physiographical division of the countries make a great impact on the climatic condition of the region or the country. So today we are making our attention towards the fourth lesson of your syllabus, that is the climate. My friend, climate is controlled by physiographical division. Physiographical division of that particular region, that particular country is also responsible for the climatic variation of that particular country or the region. The same, the physiographical division of India is making great impact on the climatic condition of India, and the physiographical condition of Brazil also make the same. And so, if you understand the physiographical division of a particular region or a country, then it is very easy to understand the climatic condition of that particular region. Now, let us start the fourth topic, and that is the climatic condition of these two countries. Climate, it means what? Climate, it means the combination of temperature and rainfall. How the distribution of the temperature, the distribution of the rainfall is there, and who is responsible for this variation. We know that some area receive huge amount of rainfall, some area is very minimized rainfall is there. Or the same thing regarding the temperature as well. In some region we know the temperature is so hot, and in some region it's very mild or cold. So particularly when you're talking about climate, ultimately we are talking about the temperature and the precipitation of that particular region. So let us start the climate. First, let us start with the Brazil. My friend, once you know the location of the Brazil, you you must be knowing a little bit idea about the climatic condition of the Brazil. Brazil is located at equatorial and the Tropic of Capricorn. Equatorial region. Equator passes through the Brazil, as well as the Tropic of Capricorn also passes through the Brazil, and that is why climate of the Brazil, there is a great variation in terms of climate in Brazil. Now, in your textbook, you may find a very interesting isotherm map of Brazil, which giving an idea about the annual average precipitation and the temperature of Brazil. And once you see this map, you will clearly get some ideas about the climatic condition of the Brazil. Just see this map. This map indicating the average temperature as well as the average rainfall of Brazil. And with this map, we come to know certain things of the climatic condition of Brazil. First, if you see the map, we come to know that in some part of Brazil, the average temperature is near about 28 degree centigrade. And in some part, particularly in the northern part, there is a 28 degree centigrade, whereas in the southern part, there is a 18 degree centigrade. And average temperature of the Brazil is approximately 23 degree centigrade. Then, as we see this blue shading indicating the rainfall, the variation of the rainfall from light to dark blue, we come to know that in which region how much rainfall this Brazil offers. Particularly, it starts from less than 500 millimeter to more than 300 millimeter. And if you see this Brazilian map, we come to know that the central part of the Brazil, or the northern part of the Brazil, from where the equatorial line pass, this region receive more than 300 millimeter rainfall, whereas the eastern part of the Brazilian highlands, there is a rainfall less than 500 millimeter. Then we come to know that another important factors which make a great effect on the Brazilian climate, and that is the wind. If you see the arrows which is coming from the Atlantic Ocean, it indicating the winds flowing from Atlantic Ocean, and that wind from Atlantic Ocean ultimately it coming from northeastern side and the southeastern side of Brazil, and that wind is also known as the trade winds, and these trade winds gives precipitation, a huge amount of rainfall to the Brazil. It means the wind is flowing from northeast and southeast, and this wind is coming from Atlantic Ocean. Ultimately, as they coming from Atlantic Ocean, it means they having a great amount of precipitation with them, and they giving a lot of rainfall for Brazil as well. Then, why this wind moving towards northern side of the Brazil? Ultimately, if you see the arrow of the direction of the arrow, it means the direction of the wind is towards equator. Why? Ultimately, we know that equator, the highest temperature is recorded here in the equatorial zone, and that is why from lowest temperature to highest temperature, wind is blowing from low temperature to high temperature, and that is why if you see this arrow is moving towards the equatorial region. Then, if you see the particularly the northeastern part of Brazil, that is the coastline, you may find the average rainfall there is more than 300 millimeter. Why? The first reason is the wind is coming from this direction and they are having a huge precipitation with them, and that precipitation is there. And the another one is the great escapements. In between these winds, the great escapements is there, and that these great escapements is play as an obstruction to the wind, the way of the wind, and that is why particularly to the southeastern side of these great escapements we may find rainfall is more than 300 millimeter, and there the wind is blocked there, and that is why the wind is giving orographic type of rainfall, and that is more than 300 millimeter. But as we cross the great escapements and enter in the northeastern side of Brazilian highlands, you may find the rainfall is very low, that is up to 500 millimeter or 500 to 1000 millimeter, and it is because of the great escapements. The wind which coming from Atlantic Ocean, they are almost giving their precipitation to the eastern coast of Brazil. As they cross, their percentage of the humidity is reduced, and that is why we may find the rain shadow area is created here in the northeastern side of Brazilian highlands, and that rain shadow area is known as drought quadrilateral, that we already discussed the drought quadrilateral as well. Particularly if you see this map, then you come to know that the southern side of the Brazil, the southern side of the Brazil, their temperature is low, comparatively low. The average temperature here is 18 degrees centigrade, and the rainfall that we can see, that is more here. More than 300 millimeter rainfall is occur here in the southern side of the Brazil as well. And this map gives us a face of Brazilian climate. We come to know some certain characteristics of the Brazilian climate as well. Then another very interesting that we can say graph or the diagram is given to you, and that is the cross section of Brazilian physiography. This is the cross section of Brazilian physiography, which gives us a clear-cut idea about the physiographical division of the Brazil, as well as the temperature and the rainfall of the Brazil as well. In which part of Brazil, how much rainfall is there, and what is the condition of temperature. Both. It means in this diagram we come to know the physiographical division of Brazil, that is as per the height and the elevation of that physiographical division, then the annual temperature and the annual rainfall as well, and it gives us a proper idea of the Brazilian climate. If you see from Guyana highlands, it started from Guyana highlands, then Amazon river basin, then Parana-Paraguay basin, then the Brazilian highlands, and last one the great escarpments. And the blue line here, it's indicating the average annual rainfall, whereas in pink color you may find the average temperature as well. So this is a very interesting cross-section diagram of a Brazilian physiography, which give you a proper idea about the Brazil and the Brazilian climate as well. Before going to the Brazilian climate, or before discussing the Brazilian climatic condition, before getting the geographical explanation of the climatic condition of Brazil, another very interesting graph is given to you in your textbook. That graph showing the average temperature and rainfall of the four major cities of the Brazil. They are Manaus, Belém, Porto Alegre, and Rio de Janeiro. If you observe this map, the two cities, that is Manaus and Belém, they are located at the equatorial region of the Brazil. and these two, rest of the two, that is the coastal city which is located at the southern part of the Brazil. But this map indicating maximum temperature range, minimum temperature range, and annual average rainfall in the year. And once you know, for example, highest temperature, if you see the highest temperature which is located, which we find in the cities, particularly in Manaus, the highest temperature is recorded. It is in the month of August, whereas in Belém it is also in the month of August, because both are in the places which is located at the equatorial region. Whereas Porto Alegre and the Rio de Janeiro, these two cities are located at the beyond the Tropic of Capricorn, at the coastal area of the Brazil. And that is why the highest temperature recorded at Porto Alegre, that is in the month of February, and at Rio de Janeiro it is also in the month of February. Then if you see the rainfall, the highest rainfall at Manaus, that is in the month of March. If you see the graph, then you come to know that the highest rainfall is recorded, it is in the month of March, whereas in Belém it is also in the month of March. Then the Porto Alegre, the highest rainfall is recorded in the month of September, whereas in at the Rio de Janeiro the highest rainfall is recorded at in the month of December. So if you see these four major cities of the Brazil, then you come to know that Brazil, if you see throughout the month, in Brazil there is a rainfall in every month. So there is no particular rainy season. In Brazil, rainfall is throughout the year. There is no rainy season in Brazil. Then we come to know that the temperature also, the maximum temperature and the minimum temperature. If you see these two cities, Manaus and Belém, the average temperature is steady there. Continuously, temperature do not fell down beyond the 22 or 20 degrees centigrade. It is constantly stable. Whereas the rest of the two cities, that is Porto Alegre and the Rio de Janeiro, you may find up and down in temperature. Particularly in the Porto Alegre, if you see the temperature map of Porto Alegre, then you come to know that sometime it is in the month of June, July and August, temperature is very low here. It means they get experience of winter here. But rest of the cities that we can see, rest of the two cities, they do not get that much low temperature experience there. So this is the three important graph and map which is given to you in your textbooks, and which gives a proper idea about the climatic condition of the Brazil. Now let us see the geographical explanation of the Brazilian climate in next video. Thank you.